Hi, my name is Evie Allison. I'm doing a tribute speech over Sansa Stark, and these are my audience. In A Storm of Swords, the third novel in A Song of Fire and Ice series, written by George R.R. Martin, Sansa wondered where this courage had come from, to speak to him so frankly. From Winterfell, she thought. I am stronger within the walls of Winterfell. Upon her retirement, we honor Sansa Stark, a true lady of the North, who fights for what she believes in and loves her family, and will always be an inspiring leader. I have read the Song of Fire and Ice series, watched the HBO TV series Game of Thrones, and conducted additional online research. As we honor Sansa upon her retirement, let's look back on her childhood, her more meaningful accomplishments, and how she will continue to inspire people to carry on her legacy. First, let's look back at Sansa's childhood. Sansa, in the beginning, led a pampered life of a naive, highborn girl, and their dream life suddenly became a nightmare, as we remember in the first book in the Game of Thrones series. Sansa Stark lived in her northern home of Winterfell with her family, where she lived a life of luxury, grace, and ladylike behavior. According to George R.R. Martin, the author of Game of Thrones, he described Sansa as she could sew, dance, and sing. She wrote poetry. She knew how to dress. She played the high harp and the bells. And worse, she was beautiful. She aspires to be a great lady who bears many heirs to a handsome prince. She was just 11 years old when she left her life at Winterfell to join her betrothed, Prince Joffrey, at his home in King's Landing. Sansa quickly learns, however, the treacherous ways of those at King's Landing when her own betrothed ordered her father's unjust execution right in front of her. Now that we've looked back on Sansa's turbulent childhood, let's remember her most meaningful accomplishments. Sansa, despite her privileged upbringing, had many meaningful accomplishments as a young woman. After her father was murdered and her engagement to Joffrey was broken, she was forced to stay at King's Landing. Every day brought hellish threats and turmoil, but she survived being a political Lannister pawn. She is forced into marrying Ramsay Bolton, a sick and twisted traitor to her family, in season 5 of the HBO series. She knows when she can stand up for herself and when biting her tongue will save her life. Even after being publicly beaten by Joffrey and raped on her wedding night by Ramsay, she is still a compassionate girl, yet no longer naive. In an article titled, "Listen Up, Fives, Sansa Stark is a 10 and you better recognize," the author writes, "Some may say she's lost that kindness by the premiere of season 7, after she argues with Jon about what to do with the land of houses Umber and Karstark. However, an important distinction to make is that Sansa isn't advocating for the execution of anyone. She is wisely saying that it might not be smart to allow highly vital pieces of land to be controlled by people they don't know they can really trust, who may hold grudges against them." Unlike her other Stark siblings, Sansa does not possess any magical powers, making her protect herself with her only ability, to play the game. While her half-brother, Jon Snow, rides to appeal the Dragon Queen, Sansa remains in Winterfell, using her newfound political knowledge to keep her people well-fed and the various lords content. Sansa's many accomplishments make her an ideal role model, and she will continue to inspire us to carry on her legacy of compassion and loyalty. Although Sansa Stark is retiring, we will apply all the lessons we have learned from her to our own lives. Sansa motivates us to keep fighting and to survive. She inspires us to keep our heads up and smile through the worst. She demonstrates strength while maintaining her compassion, and she learns from her mistakes and knows how to take the good from the tragic events she's experienced. In the most recent episode of Game of Thrones, Sansa reassures the Hound when she says this, "Without Littlefinger and Ramsay and the rest, I would have stayed a little bird all of my life." Above all, she is loyal to her home at Winterfell, and she shows she will fight to keep it. Let's review what we've discussed today. Today we've looked back at Sansa's childhood and her more meaningful accomplishments, and we've been inspired to carry on her legacy upon her retirement. We will miss you, Sansa, and we wish you the happiest of futures. As Cersei Lannister said to your father many years ago, when you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die.